I know you can't see it on the screen, but I have not done any more work in the sky. That's more to come. Not going to worry about it just yet. I thought I'd jump into these areas. I don't want to keep them so black that you don't see anything. So I thought what I would do is keep my values toned quite low and lay in a few, yeah, what would you call it? Not really details per se, but structural, what, characteristics of the buildings and this piece of, this remaining piece of, what, not really a snow fence at that point. I don't know. It's structure. As I come forward in this field, we're going to pick up light again. So what we'll end up with is higher values across the top, or sort of the bulk of the sky, and then higher values towards the bottom of the ground. But we'll end up with a fairly dark line right across the horizon. Anyway, let's just... I was going to use green to just do the entire area, or different varieties of green. I've changed my mind on that a little bit. I added a little bit of burnt sienna to cobalt blue to do the bit of bush that's here. Decided to cut in front of the corner of this building a little bit. Helps to give it the visual a little more texture, a little more sense of perspective, I suppose, seeing as this cluster is on a rise, and after that you really don't see anything, so we don't have that sweeping perspective. So we have to work with what we've got. I think what I'll do is we'll go with a different green here now. I used cobalt blue. Now I'm going to use some ultramarine blue and a little bit of yellow ochre. No white. No, I will add just a hint of white. Just a bit. How's that? Maybe a slice more of yellow ochre. A slice, a scoop. How's that? Nope. A little more white. And actually, more ultramarine blue. Is that too light? Yeah, it's quite light. I'm just fiddling around here till I arrive at the value and color that I want. I'm going to take a bet on that. I'm going to say that's probably okay. I'm still not doing much. I'm mostly laying down. I know from past experience with this back of mine that if I get at it a little too early, as much as it kind of drives me nuts to be laying around, if I jump up too early, I'm asking for trouble. And then I end up going backwards in the healing process. Okay. I think that's enough. Hopefully that chroma's not too high. I don't think it will be, because we're going to have, higher chromas down here, but not a balance of things. How about that? I think I'm even gonna lay in a little bit of fascia board here. Same color. Okay, It's not quite green, but it's a very close relative of a green. It's close enough that they get along okay over Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner. Alright, now let's do away with that. I'm going to give the brush a bit of a light cleaning. And wipe the paint off of my little mixing area. Now we'll go with ultramarine blue, burnt sienna. And a hint of white. I really need a little bit of some burnt sienna in there. I want to ensure that I knock down that intense chroma of the burnt sienna. It's very strong. It's a very strong color. Okay, I think we're about right. I think that's pretty much what we're after. Just a touch more white. To show, that's the edge of a doorway. This is also the edge of a doorway. That's the edge of the building. Okay. Let's go with that on this fence as well. Don't want to draw too much attention to that fence. It's okay if you don't see any color till we get towards the edge. And one dab of it right there as well. That's a lot of outlining. I don't mind strong outlines on objects that are close by, but it's off in the distance. A little bit's okay, I don't want too much, that's all. And let me just add a hint more ultramarine blue. And this little space here, let's do that with the ultramarine blue. While we're at it, excuse me, let's also take the brush and go a different direction in that doorway, because that's just plain dark in there. Okay. Very tempted to go slightly purple. Not this. This is sort of magenta going into orange. What if I were to use a little bit of ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson on this modest little shed on the right hand side. I don't want to go too red with that purple. I want to keep the cooler colors here. That's all. I don't want to. thing jumping out at you. That chroma, even though it's low value, is getting a little high. So I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna to kill it. Still very blue. Still very chroma E. That brings us into the grays. I think I like that better. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I'm pretty shy about things and I shouldn't be. So I end up with too weak a painting. Let's make a little door there. Alright, we'll leave a void there. It's old stuff. It's breaking, it's cracked. It's on the way out. Alright. Alright. I think that'll do. Oh, you know what? Let's grab a little blob of straight raw umber. And run it down that pole that's standing there. An old power pole. Oh, excuse me. Beside the old shed. Okay. Grooming can come later if it needs it. But at the moment, I think we're good to go. We're gonna have something with doors missing here. So make that a little darker as well. And I've lost my line here. Alright, now I'm fiddling. Now I need to stop. Okay, we'll give the the back is getting better, just not very quickly. And that's normal. That's just perfectly normal. It keeps me from getting out and about very much, that's for sure. But that's the beautiful thing about being able to do this. Is as long as you can manage sitting in front of an easel, you're just hunky-dory, you're laughing. Alright. You know what I had sort of thought would be interesting maybe is to have, you know, we have this doing this, and I'm planning on, I gotta back the camera up here. I'm planning on having this sky sweep back a little bit. You know, with just some light filaments, airy-fairy type stuff, a little bit. So we have this sweeping up. What if, down here, we had something opposing it I don't want to go the other way because I don't want to end up with the strength of a band going across here. So what if we were to just to bring the idea of a trail, an old sort of beat up old trail coming from the foreground here, not center, not on the left, underneath this mass, cutting it. I'll zoom in a little bit again. I'll just put an indication of it. I'll use a little bit of raw umber. And a little bit of white, titanium white, a little bit of cobalt blue. No, ultramarine blue. Let's just sort of sketch in our rough plan as far as what that would look like. We don't need to, that's in the distance, we don't need to paint the terminus of this trail going in. All we really want is a bit of an indication. Just kind of disappearing. Hey, I think that design-wise that'll work. I don't see any reason not to do it. I don't need a lot of information in the foreground, but as long as it's muted to some degree, I think that can work. Okay, I am going to go and stretch out for a bit here, but I thought I'd better do this so that I can prove to you that something is getting done at least. And of course to say hello. I don't think I've done a video for a couple of days, so I may as well keep you all in the loop. Here, let me just, when I back the camera up, it's really beneficial to drop that a little bit. Takes away the glare. I think that's composition wise, I think I'm gonna like that decision to have that bit of field in there. I'll have to be a little bit careful right here because we have this angle and this angle. However, this angle will get muddied up a little bit or distorted because of some stuff coming off of here. And as long as I don't have this line being very prominent, very strong, I think that's going to work just fine. Okay, let's zoom in on that cluster of things. Flat prairie, a little bit of bush. That's an awfully blue roof, but I'm leaving it for now. I can tone it down later if I have to. Bit of a shed, sort of I would still call it a greenish theme. Yeah, that's a little purple there, I guess, actually, but you know, some green fascia on it. And I've laid in one thin line of that's just raw umber with a hint of white right across to reestablish my horizon, but also to make sure that when I painted the buildings and the bush, it sort of, everything sort of fell in line with each other. That was just my own guide. Okay guys, I guess we'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.